Hi guys, Kaze here. Welcome back. We're back with more Men of Yoshiwara Ohgiya with Utsusemi. We're on chapter 9, Tears. Let's see how this goes, and hopefully everything works out. Hopefully we can fool like his parents to believing Ageha is actually their son, which I think they're gonna know how old. Isn't Ageha younger than Utsusemi, I think? Maybe about a year or two. So, I don't know. We'll see, right? I must say, I feel bad for Ageha. You have to deal with Yoko. We spent the night sleeping in each other's arms, but my tears just would not stop. Utsusemi held me until morning, trying to soothe me. Though we hadn't physically become one, our hearts were, sharing each other's pain and love. That alone was enough to make me happy. The next morning, Utsusemi went with me to the gate. The road was still wet with sweet-smelling dew. Please, be careful on your way home. I will. Thank you. We said a simple goodbye and I left. After walking a few minutes, when I looked back, oh, he's still watching. I could see Utsusemi's small figure just watching me all the while. Our love was caught between dreams and reality, spinning across Yoshiwara's vermilion gate. Just how free he would be if only that border didn't exist. I had tried to share in his determination, but my own hesitation had not vanished. Several days passed. When Yoko heard that the heir to the restaurant was Ageha, she lost interest and went back to the mainland, like she had just been taunting me. Let's see, all she wants was Utsusemi just to mess with me. What the hell? What's wrong with her? The other gave us his consent, and the discussion of Ageha's freedom continued. However, the most crucial player, Ageha, still hadn't agreed to our plan. Well, that's kind of awkward. Everyone agrees, except the main dude. The day of Ageha's planned release, the 10th of the month, was drawing near. What was Utsusemi feeling as he waited for that ever-approaching day? Dusk fell, and I went to Yoshiwara. The tea house was unusually busy tonight. When I stopped by to see what was going on, new guidebooks were being handed out. Would you like one? Sure, thanks. I took a guide and I was surprised to see what was inside. Orion Utsusemi? I went to Ohgiya with the guidebook still in my hand. Ohgiya had also attracted quite the crowd that night. And what's more, when I finally got to Utsusemi's familiar room. I'm sorry, how awful of me to keep my wife waiting. Otome came into my room and hastily bowed his head. I've never seen this place so busy. What's going on? Well, ever since Ageha collapsed, we've been short-handed. Gakuto's been staying by Ageha's side and taking care of him, so he's been away a lot. Thanks to that, it looks like my time has finally come. Not because of his pride in you as his sworn brother? Well, that too. Otome proudly crossed his arms. Is that why these guides are being handed out? I pulled out the guidebook I had in my pocket. Oh, word got around fast. Look at that, Orion Utsusemi. But this is just a bandage on a bullet hole. Even having me do the procession, we're still not setting a good example for the other shops. Oh wow, so that means you'll be in the procession? Yeah, that's right. I'm a little embarrassed. After all, I just talked to you about it like it was a dream, though. Well, that's wonderful. So, when is it? Utsusemi's cheerfulness vanished. I said I wanted it on the 9th. That's the day before. Ageha will be released, yes. You sound very calm. Well, I've already made up my mind. I want to say goodbye. And I want to do it as soon as possible, considering the way I feel. His voice slightly quieter throughout the small room. His frigid eyes looked directly at me. You understand, don't you, Kaze? Yes. I answered him, but inside I thought he was being unfair. But at the same time, I felt this was something only I could understand. It's like the two of us are plotting conspiracy together. Not just like it, we really are, along with the rest of Ohgiya, though. You know what? Forget what I said before. Huh? Why? It sounds like I'm making you the reason for all of this. Gakuto would be mad if he heard. Utsusemi quietly shifted positions and paused briefly. I'm telling this lie because I want to. It's not for Ageha's sake. I'm doing something for Ageha because it's what I want. Okay, I'm alright. He turned back to me, his eyes clear. I knew I couldn't just ask him the question in my mind. Really? So I tried to think of a different topic. Come to think of it, how has Ageha been feeling lately? Right, I hadn't told you yet. He's gotten much better. He'll be fine now. Shall we go see him? I'm sure he'd be happy to see you. Sure, let's go say hello. Alright. He looked somewhat gloomy as he stood up. We went to the part where Ageha was lying down, but... Please, go away. This is a different room. But Kaze's worried about you. You could at least say hi. No, I don't want to see you either. Ageha put his head on the futon and stopped speaking. Sorry about this. Utsusemi looked back at me and sighed. He's been like this since we spoke about his release. Oh. It wasn't that I couldn't understand how Ageha was feeling, but... Speak to him kindly. Ask him yourself. I'll just be going, speak kindly to him. Ageha? I heard you've been feeling better. I've been really worried. Can't I see you? Just for a minute? Kaze. Ageha poked his head out from the rounded futon. It's not that I don't want to see you, but somebody just doesn't understand anything. I think we understand you're either going to be thrown out and put in probably a bad brothel, but we're trying to help you. Calm down. I looked at the quietly brooding boy's expression. He didn't look so ill, but he wouldn't look Utsusemi in the eye. You really won't agree to this? Of course not. Do you have any idea how much you've done for me all these years? How could I return all your kindness with cruelty? That's not how I feel about it. Utsemi's voice became gentle as he spoke. I have an idea, Ageha. I want to tell you about my life. Could you listen for just a little bit? I thought I was an orphan for all my life, right? I felt like I had been abandoned. I always thought my parents didn't need me. I thought they had abandoned me because they didn't love me. Utsusemi exhaled and continued speaking, his voice monotone. That's why, when I was picked up, even though I was brought here to Yoshiwara, I was happy. Here, I have Gakuto, who loves me like a real brother. And you always looked up to me too, didn't you? Gaius wordlessly nodded his head. I've been living my life here for 20-odd years. So this place is like my home. At this point, my real family is just a bother to me. Thank you for telling me that. Having listened to everything thus far, Ageha quietly spoke up. But what does this have to do with me leaving in your place? What I'm saying is, I want to be here. Utsusemi let out a breath and suddenly put his arm around me. What? Again, I am deeply, completely in love with this girl from the bottom of my heart. But if I go to the mainland as the heir, I could never return to this island. Utsusemi. His arms were tight around me and I returned his embrace. Again, please, I want to stay on this island. Please, let me stay married to Kaze for the rest of my life. This is something only you can do. Ageha's amber eyes stared straight at Utsusemi. Finally, those big eyes began to blur with tears. Ageha. Ageha sniffled and began to talk, resisting raising his voice. Not fair. It's not fair, Utsusemi. You're being too selfish. I know that. Even I'm asking you. And that's just cruel. I want to be happy too, but to find happiness this way, I'm not happy. So please, stop trying to give me reasons to agree. It's not fair. Forgive me, Ageha. Forgive me. Oh. Ageha's tearful voice echoed through the room. Utsusemi bowed his head and repeated the same words over and over again, and before long, Ageha was sobbing with anguish. This is not going very well. I wonder what kind of relationship Utsusemi, Ageha, and Gakuto had in the past. I could only use my imagination, and yet the tears that were flowing before my eyes were so pure. They continued to fall quietly like a spring rain. The rain falling in Ageha's heart, never ending. We finally left that tear-filled room. But Even after we returned to our usual red room, we could not speak. We held each other, not saying a word. Those tears would soak into our chests and muddled our hearts. Suddenly Utsusemi bent his neck and whispered into my ear. Am I doing the wrong thing? His voice was so quiet I thought I might not hear him if I didn't listen carefully. The grip of the arms around me grew tighter. Was Utsusemi wrong? Maybe you are. You're awfully harsh. It's not my nature to lie. Yes, I know. The silence fell again. Was the moon lighting up the night with its pale light right now? I wish I could also light up the unseen path that we were about to take. If I was going to make someone cry, then maybe this wasn't the right road after all. Semi, Yes? He heard my hesitant words and looked into my eyes. The truth is, I was horrified listening to you talk earlier about how if you went to the mainland, I'd never see you again. Normally any parent would want to hide the fact that their son was a courtesan. But it's necessary for this island to survive, right? Yes, that's true for this island, but this island isn't normal. It made me scared. I realized that was the only thing I'd been thinking about was his happiness. So I hadn't thought about what would happen after he had left the island and rejoined his family. Not least because I just hadn't wanted to think about that. You probably looked down on me for saying this. I shook his hand, wondering if I should continue. Please, tell me, Kaze. I've always wanted you to be happy. But just now, you said you wanted to be with me, even if it meant abandoning your happiness. That made me so happy, even knowing that my existence might be a burden on you. His embrace grew tighter. A burden? How can you say that? I only spoke my true feelings. But it's my fault. It's not something you have to worry about. Being together with you makes me so happy. This is so cruel. Kaze. Someone grasped my hand that I've been using to stifle my cries. It's not just you. It's, as Ageha said, I'm cunning, deceitful man. But I wouldn't be able to survive if I weren't. Kaze. Huh? He shook my cheek and brought his face close. He spoke, his face so close to mine we breathed the same air. While I'm being unfair, please, let me say one thing. Right now, I want you. Semi, is it okay for me to make you the reason I want to stay on this island? Is that what you really want? Regardless of the crimes he had committed, despite casting aside the family he deserved to have, even though it meant making someone cry for his own good. I don't mind, as long as I can have you. For me? We looked straight at each other, and then I put my lips on his. There was a fleeting taste of tears. You really are no fair, Utsusemi. He heard my words and grinned broadly. It was a strange smile. It was neither happy nor sad, a smile like we were about to fall into hell together. The two of us were going down a path of no return. It was that kind of smile. Do you hate this side of me? No, I love it. I love you because of it. You're just the kind of person I thought you were after all. I gently tilted my head and closed my eyes. Please, make me your woman. Yes, Kaze. Let's all just view this beautiful picture. Why does it look like he's looking more at us than at her? than at her? Okay. A fire burned in my cheeks at his soft whisper. I had no regrets. If this was a flower that could only bloom once in my life, this person was who I wanted. Kaze. He called my name again. Beautiful cherry blossom petals danced on my bare chest. Oh, Semi, harder. Yes, Kaze. Don't ever leave me. I won't. Kaze. Kaze. His voice echoed through my heart and shook my soul. His fingertips brought a woman out of me. Oh, I felt a twinge of pain in my chest. So this is love. Something that makes my chest hurt like this. For the sake of someone we love, Flames of jealousy will occasionally burn. We can only become deceitful in order to survive, and our hearts grew wet with tears. Love is something that burns up my body and soul. And even so, I wanted to love this person. I wanted to so badly. And so we were joined together that night. I continued to see him as the days went by. Those sweet days numbered our hearts like some mysterious potion from the mainland. But still, time flowed on. That day, the day when Ageha would leave and go to Utsusemi, was fast approaching. That day, I visited the brothel and we immediately went to the bedroom. It was amazing to think that our lives had become such utter chaos in just these few short days. Come to think of it, tomorrow's finally the day of your procession. It is, Kaze. Once that's over, Ageha, Utsusemi, who had been scabbing pink flowers over my body, stilled his lips. I could feel him gently place his head on my chest. I held him close to my chest and kissed his forehead. I'm looking forward to your procession, but I want to have a lot of other emotions too. Just as I spoke my mind, there was an uproar from outside the room. Utsusemi! Utsusemi, there's trouble! Oh, what is it? We're in the middle of something here. Utsusemi put a coat on me and pulled open the door an inch. There's been another murder. A murder? Another? You mean it's happened before too? You didn't know? The servant's already wide eyes grew even wider and Utsusemi squinted awkwardly. Come to think of it, I've been out of the loop when it comes to society lately. Tomorrow will be his procession and Ageha's release. And with that on top of our day-to-day relationships as husband and wife, the world had become small. What's going on outside? Ah! Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. It's like, I haven't really played Gakuto, but I know them because I did the prologue like before I started this channel, so I know what they all look like. So I recognize them. I must recognize them, sorry. At around 7, Takigawa from Ohgiya was attacked. Wait, you just said there was another murder. Was he murdered? What? Whoa, what? Or did the murderer attack? Suddenly he died. At the assembly just now, it was decided that all processions are cancelled for the time being. Oh. So tomorrow's procession is cancelled. The words that spilled from Utsusemi's mouth echoed in the dimly lit room. Ooh. Well, that didn't sound good for us or... Oh, God. Takigawa? I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. I just read it. I totally forgot. Well, that doesn't sound good. That just puts all our plans horribly wrong, and I still feel bad for Ageha. I don't even know. So let me know what you guys think about this chapter, like down below. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? I have no idea. I don't know. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next chapter, chapter 10. Until then, Kaze out. Bye, guys.